Hi everyone, my name is Javi and I can draw, and this is the second part of body types tutorial. So, well, let's just make it quick and let's go. So here's what I'm going to do today. After reading all the tutorials and watching all the videos and trying to learn as much as I can, I decided that the best thing I could do was try to use some reference first to deconstruct certain characters and certain character designs. And the first one I came to mind was the Overwatch characters. And why is that? Because if I tried to get several characters from different comic books or cartoons or whatever, I would have to deal with a lot of different artists and a lot of different styles, and I wanted just one style but really well designed characters. And the Overwatch characters are really well designed because if you never played this game, you can go Google it. It's really good character designs. And the best thing is that if you actually think about it and you just play the games with just silhouettes instead of the characters and the colors and the flash, you would still understand everything that is going on, and you would always understand the character that is in front of you with just the silhouette. And that's what I like so much. And the characters are so diverse and they do so many different things, and that is all exemplified in the design. Like, the design itself tells you what the characters are pretty much. So that's what I want to do right now. I want to start drawing on top of them. Let's go. And I want to see pretty much how they were built, constructed, designed. So the first few that I have here, if I zoom out, I have all the guys on the right, all the girls on the left. I'm going to start with the girls. The first ones that I have here are just let's call them the athletic model type girls, so to speak. Because, well, the design on these two, for example, you can see that here Widowmaker, the design of the body is going to be kind of like an hourglass, kind of something like this. You can see that she has really strong legs, and she has kind of thin calves because she's fast and agile. All of this is telling you about speed because the legs are so long. If you manage to just draw a line and draw the proportions the half, if she were humanly proportionate, her crotch would be somewhere around here, but it's not because her legs are longer, because she's fast, and it's giving you that feeling. Actually, most of these female characters that I have here on screen have the same design. So for these ones, it is pretty much the same. These two, Zenyatta and Mercy, they have this really strong legs, really wide hips, and that is, just a little bit wider and stronger than Widowmaker's. Especially Mercy, is you hear that this part, the ribcage, is super small compared to Zenyatta, that is just a little bit longer. And this one is super small, and then here come the hips, and then really big strong legs here. You can tell how wide the hips are compared to the rib cage. You can see that she's really strong legs. So even though from the waist down these two seem similar, I can see here that this is not the same. Now here is another very athletic type, that is Tracer, but you can see that the design is completely different. She's all around these round shapes here. This is just one thing, and then you have these super thin, really thin legs. Look at this, that tells you how light she is. She's it gives me this feeling like Speedy Gonzalez, you know what I mean? And that's exactly what the character is. I'm just going to finish this quite quickly so I can make a comparison later without the characters overlaying. Just gonna do this real quick. And here I chose these ones because these ones have really well-defined shapes that are not in this athletic type of order. Now check this one out. This is Anna. This is the new character. It's called Anna, right? I don't actually have the game. But this one, this is just one big triangle. This is the shape that you see. And this is cool because this is a character that you actually see from afar. She's kind of like a sniper. So the fact that she's this fixed triangle that you can really see from afar is really clear and really helpful. And the same thing happens here with Farah. The Farah is also a character that you see very much from afar because she's always either flying or launching rockets from afar, from a distance. So she is this actually triangle shape as well. Now, since we're doing actually body types, you can see that these two characters don't have the body types that the other characters have. Like, for example, Anna, because she's an older character, she's not as stylized, and she's more like this classic, more proportionate shape. You can see that here if you compare it with like Tracer, that she has really long legs comparatively. And Farah, well, she's wearing this armor, so this is going to be like really huge and really wide. And then she has the strong legs because she makes big jumps. But you can see that, well, the armor is not so much about body types, but about the armor type, so to speak. But you can see that she looks nothing like the other ones. So here we have Sadia, and Sadia is like a lot more muscular. And it's a lot more squared, and I mean, look at the legs, because these legs don't go thinner, they just go, these are like really big squares here, because she's strong and muscular, and she has like really wide shoulders, like if you compare it to her head. And this is all like, it's not so much how broad her shoulders are, but the distance between her head and the shoulders that make like this distance a lot bigger. It gives her a bigger rib cage here. Look. This is so cool. And then we have the ice girl. I can't remember her name. Mei, that's her name, right? And this one is also like this big square. I know she's wearing like a lot of armor. But she's this big square character. And she has these big square boots as well. Like really big feet, I assume. Like, this is the thing when you're designing a character like this. I know that I'm not focusing so much in body types, but in character design. But you know, considering that the clothes that the character, whatever character you design, is going to be wearing, really, well, this exemplifies how much it changes the body shape of the character. Because I don't think that Mei isn't that square in her body shape. Maybe she's more like, if I had to guess, something like this. But you know, all the clothes that she has on top of her make her like a look like square and bulky. So these are the girls. Oh, let's just make a quick comparison here. Let me see. I'm gonna zoom just a bit. Like, look at these bodies. They look nothing like. I'm going to finish Mercy here just real quick. Like, nobody is like the other body. Maybe these two. Maybe like these three if you want to put them together. But then look at this ones. Look at how big Sadia is. How strong legs she has. Look how Mei is. Like, these two are like nothing alike. I'm gonna, if I just finish her arms here. Real quick. And you can tell what they are. Like, this is like this big sentry. And well, she's cloaked here, but you can tell that she's not like this super athletic girly type like Tracer just next to her, which has really long legs and she's like really small. You know, talks about how fast she is. They are very different, and they're all women. It's like, and when you think about, well, I'm going to draw a girl, most of the time you're just thinking about like typical girly shape. They can be so much more, and that's what I wanted to find out this week. That's why I like so much about this. I wonder, like, the next few days what I'm going to do, because I have to start using this on my own art, you know? Okay, so let's move on to the guys. Now, for this guys, I chose like this 4 guys, kinda, because they are also like the soldier athletic type. And I know, like, if you guys hear Soldier 76, it has like this, is also very squared here. He's very, well, he's pretty proportionate. it doesn't look, it is like the you know how this character is actually used in the game as an introduction character, like sort of if you come from games like Call of Duty. So it makes sense that he's also like the kind of just proportionate soldier kind of guy character. McCree here, he's also, well, you can use it at a distance as well, so he has this red cape so you can see it from afar, but that's just game design. But if not, he's also kind of just a regular athletic type body. Maybe his waistline is just a little bit smaller than Soldier 76, and maybe his quadriceps, like his legs, are just a bit wider. But it's just around the same thing. Now here with Genji is the same thing, but he's a ninja, so like he's going to be like this triangle, and the legs are going to be just a little bit smaller, so you can understand that you're talking about a fast character, like this really kind of fast, like this kind of like, you know, this Spider-Man type of body, you know what I mean? That, well, you know, now that I see this, they are not very much alike, but they're still around the same thing. Now here with Reaper, the important thing is like this thing here, and you can see how actually his ribcage is like super small, like this is all he has, and then it's just all like legs and waist, and this is like really strong legs here, really big feet. So you can see that you're talking about like this strong, imposing character. Like if you just look at the shape, you can see like the difference. This difference between the shoulders and the head makes him feel like really strong, like imposing, like heavy character, compared to like here, like McCree, that he doesn't have like as broad shoulders. Also, is McCree named like that because of the video game Mad Dog McCree? Like back in the 1992 or 93, there was a video game called Mad Dog McCree where you actually were watching a video of like some sort of western, and you had to click on the villains and a video will play of the villains falling. It doesn't matter, I'm just rambling because I'm feeling just a bit old. So I put Hanzo and the Brazilian guy, I can't remember his name, I put them here together. Why is that? Because they actually have some things in common, like, for example, well, they are strong and athletic, sure, but they also have these thick legs here. Now Hanzo actually doesn't have legs, he has like these goat type of things. But you can still see that besides some changes on how broad the shoulders are and how large his neck muscles are, you can actually see that they kinda share the same basic design here. Do this really quick, they all both have these really strong legs. I mean, Hanzo is the one that he climbs on walls, right? He wall runs and he climbs on walls, so maybe that's why the strong legs are part of the character design. And, well, now I'm already deviating to like the weird ones, but these ones are the ones I enjoy the most. Look how different they look. I mean, look at this one. This is also like skinny and athletic, but he's like super skinny. And it's nothing like the other ones. And he has like this really thin, even though in the design you have this thick part, which is something that apparently like whoever designs these Overwatch characters like to get them this big quadriceps there on the leg. That's like that's a common theme. But then he has like really skinny legs, really skinny arms, and I think that, well, he has this big wheel here that's more like character design. It's not so much body type, but I think that has to do with game design, so you can see him coming a bit more, because maybe he's just too thin, he can hide it behind things. And look at this, it's like super thin. So here we have this as Zenyatta, and he's like Dalsim from Street Fighter. Is like, honestly, it's like pretty much the same body type, or at least the same body shape. But since he's a robot, he can afford to have like this super tiny waist that is still based on like this kind of Indian characters, like super thin. And well, this super big leg is also, well, I don't know if it relates to what the character does in the game because he's always floating. And still it looks good, and well, it has to do more with how baggy those type of pants that some Indian people wear look like. So let's move on to the big ones, and the not so much big one. Now here we have Winston, and this is, I really like this one because, I mean, look how huge he is. And I know that I'm getting just a little bit repetitive on this video, and it may not be the most fun video of all, but I want to do this. I want to see like how huge all of this part of the body is, and he has a huge head as well compared like proportionally to other big characters. And of course that his arms are really big because he is a monkey, so he get like bigger arms and really short legs, but that has to do not with body type but more like how the actual gorillas look. But still, it's like huge. From just this you get everything you need to know about the character, that he's going to be big, that he's going to be maybe a little slow, that he's going to hit slow but hard. And then we have Reinhardt, that I only played the Overwatch demo when it came out, like the beta. And he was my favorite character because everyone was just running around shooting each other, but if you just walk with Reinhardt's shield, everyone just rallies behind you, which makes it really useful when you actually want to play the objective, you know? So here you have like this big shape here. This huge, massive shape. And then it's like super square because you know that he's a heavy character, like everything points towards this character being huge and heavy and slow. But he still doesn't have like anything to do with Winston, because Winston, like his weight and his slowness, so to speak, has to do with here, or like the big belly and the big rib cage. And in the case of Reinhardt, it has to do with like the big shoulders and the big arms. And here we have the dwarf that I can't remember his name, but he's really just like, he's a barrel. Look at this, it's just one big barrel. And yes, of course, short squared legs, kinda short squared arms as well. And then we have Roadhog. That Roadhog is like, if you think about it, his body type is kinda like Winston's, but without the big arms. Like maybe his ribcage is just a little bit smaller, and his shoulders as well. He has like, well, shorter, just a little bit longer legs because, well, he's human, he has longer legs. And then he just has big, strong arms. Here. So, okay, so let's take a look at the guys as well. I love this. Look at them, they are so different and they belong to the same universe. Like you can have them standing one next to the other. And it's just, they just look well. They fit with each other. Look at this. I know that it's like super silly looking like this really rough shapes. But you know, it makes me want to play a lot more. And here if we start to see the girls, like, well, in this video screen it doesn't make much sense. But you can see how many different shapes a person can have and how much you can talk about the personality and who that person is. This is super fun. So I'm thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow because I was, I want to figure out more balance. How to figure out balance in a character when it's moving depending on the body type. But you know, considering that I'm already going into this character design kind of thing, maybe it would be a lot more fun to just try to figure out a character with a personality and try to design its body shape depending on what I think that this character is. It may take me some time, so I don't know if I can make it, but it's something I want to try in the future, maybe this week. Anyway, that's it for today. My name is Javi and I Can Draw. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!